First, there is just a plume of white smoke, and then it is clear it's a plane tumbling out of the sky. Russia's aviation authority says Wagner boss Yevgeny Prigozhin was killed on that plane, a man who, since he set his men on Moscow 2 months ago, was perhaps Putin's enemy number one, however the Kremlin liked to spin it. He and his number two, Dmitry Utkin, now apparently both come to a sticky end. That's if the Russian authorities are to be believed. This moment and the 24 hours preceding it in Rostov-on-Don in June were unforgivable for Vladimir Putin, an act of mutiny by the Wagner leader against Russia's top military command, then calling his men off halfway to the capital in exchange for supposed exile in Belarus. But it didn't seem much like exile. Prigozhin popping up in St. Petersburg, hobnobbing with African dignitaries and continuing to rail against the way the Ukraine war was being run from Belarus. The last we saw of him was this video published earlier in the week, most probably in the African Sahel, where Prigozhin said that Wagner would make Russia even greater and Africa even more free. But his days were likely numbered.
It looks as though it may well be a revenge attack by someone in the elite, possibly somebody very senior, on Prigozhin. And in fact, we had heard some weeks ago from a source that a contract had in fact been put out on Prigozhin in Russia by senior members of the business communities.
As the news broke, President Putin appeared at a commemorative event for the World War II battle at Kursk, holding a minute's silence for the Soviet dead as the wreckage of the plane burned. From the US, President Biden had this to say.
I don't know for a fact what happened, but I'm not surprised. There's not much that happens when Russia is not behind, but I don't know enough to know the answer.
No doubt clarity will be a long time coming. But Prigozhin is a man who courts attention, and if he is not dead, then we will likely hear from him soon. And if he is, there will be no tears shed in the Kremlin.